All right, so we are going to record tonight just so that we have the information for those who aren't here tonight. But all the prizes, man, they're all going to you guys tonight because you're here. So those of you who are watching on a recording, sorry, you had to be here to win, right? Be present to win. Dude, it's all awesome to see you tonight and to gather tonight. And so as we do gather, Pastor, could I call on you to kind of get us started and open us with prayer and any thoughts and wisdom and things that you might want to say? I'm going to ask that you use, even though I know you can speak loud enough, just so that we can record it. Awesome.
Good evening. Great to see you. Even though I can see you from here to here for some, that's okay. I'm just glad that you're here. The preschool just kicked off with their teachers that came back on Monday, and they've done their teacher orientation. School doesn't start yet till after Labor Day. But the teacher's theme verse or verses for this year is Isaiah 43, 18 and 19. And it basically says this: forget the past. I am doing something new. God is doing something new in each and every one of you. This world we live in, who could have ever thought 2 years ago we would be sitting where we are and the way we're sitting and how we have to go about living life. But I know this: our God says He's the same yesterday and today and tomorrow. And that's who we come to learn about, to come share about, and to come to grow in. And I thank you for being here and for starting this and continuing this journey together. So let's open up with a word of prayer. Gracious God and Father, I thank you that you have called, gathered, enlightened us with the gift of salvation. We celebrate our baptism each and every day. And Father, we celebrate the time that we can come to learn, to grow, to share, and confirm our faith, the one that you gave to us in you. Be with each and every person here joining us online and here in person. Be with the families. Guard and protect them. Teach us, Lord, through your Holy Spirit. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Thanks, Pastor. Appreciate it. All right. As we go through this evening, if you have questions, concerns, make a little note. I'll stop a few times along the way. But the goal is to go through as much information as possible, as quickly as possible. If we don't need the whole hour, we won't use the whole hour. Anybody going to be disappointed about that? All right, cool. And then we'll do some Q&A at the end and make sure that if you do have some questions that didn't get answered, that we do answer them at that point. And so, again, if you haven't downloaded the St. Paul Weston app, go to App Store, Google Play, wherever it might be on your phone. Download St. Paul Weston. We're going to go through that a little bit and show you where and how you can access information, not just tonight, but throughout the year when it comes to youth ministry activities here at St. Paul. Let's start out then, if this all works right. Is that right? All right, cool. So as we look at the app, if you've downloaded the app, you have it open, and as you come to it, you're going to get to the home page. On the home page, there's a little icon that goes across the screen that says Get Involved. It looks just like that. That is your ticket to the youth area on the app. Youth area on the app. Once you go to the Get Involved section, then you're going to see a little thing there that says Youth Ministry. It's on the right-hand side, about 4 icons down on the right-hand side. Click on that. Now, this is going to give you all of these choices. The first one says Youth Ministry. That gives you just a little overview of youth ministry, kicks you to our webpage for that. The Youth Check-In, which you're going to, if you would, click on the Youth Check-In. So if you're all there, it'll look something like this. It says Youth Check-In. And it might spin for a moment depending on how good your Wi-Fi is in here, or if you're using network, or if we're all trying to steal each other's Wi-Fi. And after a few seconds there, hopefully it opens up. Type in the name of the youth that's represented tonight by your family. This is going to win you a prize later, so you want to make sure you do that. All right. This is Youth Check-In. And so we sometimes do this at Spirit Night. Sometimes we do this at our teen nights and fun activities when we gather. And then at the end of the month, when we're on top of it and functioning the way I want to be functioning, we'll spin for an Amazon gift card at the end of the month, and somebody who has checked in that month wins a $25 Amazon card, which is pretty slick. So name, email, phone. When you get to youth event, just click Other in that area, and then today's date. So that would be the youth check-in. So if you're all doing that, how many of you are working on that right now? You're filling out the youth check-in? Awesome. Very good. What's that? It's still spinning on you, or? All right. Here, fill it in on mine. As long as you get and then it'll come in. Yeah. Yeah, you can do multiple kids. So if you do that, yep, you can go back out, hit it again. If you got multiple kids here tonight, people who are present, fill it out for each one, and that way they'll get entered into our drawing later on this evening. All right. Yes. Yeah, you can do it multiple phones. You can, however you want to do it. Yeah. Yep. Yep. All right. Cool. All right. So then, as you're filling out the youth check-in, if you scroll the next box, looks like just died on me. Hold on. After the youth check-in box, you have the youth information form. If you haven't filled out a youth information form, this would be something to fill out later on tonight or tomorrow. It would be awesome and very helpful. If you filled one out in the past, maybe in the last couple years, that's okay. Don't worry about filling that one out again. Youth med form is the next thing, the next icon that pops up. And the youth medical form, again, if you filled it out already in the past, we save that data. And then if your son or daughter is going on a youth trip with us, we print out the ones that we have that are going. If you have filled it out in the past and things have changed, what's kind of cool is if you look at the med form page, there's a medical form login to edit. Theoretically, if you filled it out the first time, you created a username. If you forgot it, let me know, or if it doesn't allow you to get to it. But you can go back in and edit the data without having to start over from scratch to put all that data in. So that's all on there on the medical form. If you'd rather not fill out all that information on your phone and you're more of a computer type person, you can get to that through our website as well on the youth. Go to stpaulweston.com. You can go to the website underneath the youth area. There's a medical form, same form. It's just you can find it on your computer as well. Then we have the adult volunteers, which we'll talk about just a little bit later, an opportunity for you to be involved and help out as a youth in the youth ministry area. And then we have the Crucifer signups. So for all of our middle schoolers especially, to be involved in helping to carry the cross in as we process in and out, as we recess out at the end of worship. And then there's a confirmation registration that is there. There is confirmation parent helpers, which we'll talk about in just a moment when we get to that part. There's a registration for the middle school youth gathering. It's in person. It's in Leesburg Camp, Lake Yale Camp. We haven't been there for 2 years. We're going back again, which is awesome, and excited to be a part of that again. That's the first weekend in November. We'll talk more about that. The National Youth Gathering registration is online for all of you who are in high school this year and older. That's going to be in Houston next summer, and we'll talk more about that. Spoke Folk, if you want to do those in the future, again, for high schoolers this year. Fundraisers, all the youth fundraisers and information you can link to from there. Remind, some of you are already involved in Remind. Some of you are involved in the St. Paul Remind. Some of you have a million Reminds for your kids' classes, activities, pools, gyms, whatever it might be. You can use that to be a part of your kids' class on the Reminds here as well. Then there's a youth calendar that is available, and that youth calendar is interactive, meaning that it'll update. If I make a change today, 2 minutes later or less, as soon as I click save, it saves that information on this youth calendar, including any links or registrations that might be from there as well. There's also a youth calendar PDF, which is basically the same thing but a digital PDF version of the back of the handout that you received today. Then the last thing that's on there is the game buzzer, which we use sometimes in our teen nights, middle school events, or our spirit nights on Wednesday night. And so that is that kind of takes you through all the stuff on the app. We're going to go through that in a little more detail. But right now, go ahead and click on your game buzzer. If you have a phone, a device with it on, you can click on the game buzzer, and that will get you to a page that says Crowd Buzzer. And it should, let's see if I can get this to work right. it should give you an opportunity to enter a 4-digit code. It's hard to see, so I'll tell you, but the 4-digit code is 77MT. 77MT. So if you enter 77MT in there and click join, it'll get you to the right place, and then it'll ask you for your name and a team name. Don't worry about a team name. We're just going to play individuals. So in the player name, you can enter your name and press enter, and it should pop up. I see Wyatt's on there already, which is awesome. We'll see if this works. Yep, Wyatt's on there. If you click Buzz, it'll throw your name up there. Yep, awesome. Some of you you're getting it. That is great. Okay, cool. We'll give everybody a chance to do that. Again, the code is 77MT. 77MT. We are playing for $10 gift cards to either Amazon or Starbucks, whatever one you want when you win. If there's some available, you can pick and choose. All right, we're going to go through. We're going to do 3 questions, and each question is going to be worth $10. How about that? I mean, that's worth showing up for right there, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is this on here. If everybody's signed in and wants to be signed in. Anybody having trouble? I don't see up there. Did you click your button? There you go. Awesome. Okay, all right, very good. There we go. I'm seeing a bunch of you. Natalie, Colin, Sophia, William, Gaspar, Brooke. Yep, youth and kids alike. If you got a device, you can play. Doesn't just have to be youth. All right. So here's how this is going to work. I'm going to ask a question. At the end of the question, I'm going to turn your buzzers back on. If you know the answer, buzz in. Whoever buzzes in first gets a chance to answer it correctly. If you don't answer it correctly, whoever is second to buzz in will get to answer it until we get the correct answer. So don't give away the answer if somebody answers it incorrectly. Does everybody understand? Make sense? All right, quick little game show. We're going to have some fun. I'm going to turn your buzzers off for a second, which will reset them. So don't try pressing it yet, because I will turn it on as soon as I finish asking the question. All right, so some of these questions, actually most of these questions are going to be some confirmation questions. So if you've already gone through a year or 2 confirmation, or 3, that's going to help you. Some of them might not be, but we're going to start off. So here's question 1. Question 1 is this: when does confirmation instruction start at St. Paul? Bianca, first to buzz in. Answer. Where are you? Oh, there you go. 8th of September. I'm looking for the grade. 6th grade. Very good. Come on up and select your gift card. Woo! It's that easy. All right. Here we go. While she's coming up, since she just got that, I just reset everybody's buzzers. Who is the 3rd article of the Apostles' Creed about? Oh, dude, I'm going to disqualify you from this one. Natalie, you were after Bianca since she already won in this round. Holy Spirit is correct. Come up and select your gift card. Woo! All right, we got one more for this round, and then we're going to come back to some questions in just a little bit. Actually, you know what? We're going to stay the course. We're going to stay the course and do this because everybody's logged in, and it might be crazier to try to get re-logged in. So, question number 3. What is the 4th commandment? What is the 4th commandment? Bianca, nice to you. You're like fast on the buzzer, but you already won this round, so we're gonna move on. So, Andy. Nice, very good. Come on up. Does anybody know what's special about that commandment, by the way? There's something that commandment has that no other commandment has. I see Natalie's hand. Michaela's hand. I just see hands coming up. Michaela? Yeah, it has a promise to it. That wasn't worth the gift card. That's just bonus. All right, here we go. Question number 4. What 2 sacraments do we have in the Lutheran Church? Ooh. What 2 sacraments do we have in the Lutheran Church? Nice, Andy, but you won this round, so we're going to move on to the next one, which is Wyatt. What do you got, Wyatt? Yes, sir. Come on up. Baptism, communion. Nicely done, sir. You still got a choice. Still got a choice. All right, and here we go. We got 2 more questions, 2 more gift cards here. What is the 8th commandment? 8th commandment. Bianca, you're killing it on that buzzer. 8th commandment. People are going through it, trying to figure it out. So far, Bianca's the only one that's weighed in. Who else is going to weigh in? Who's going to figure it out? Somebody's looking it up on their other device somewhere. Phone a friend, ask a parent, ask a pastor, whoever can get there faster. Michaela, you have not logged in yet this round. Yeah, what about it? Yeah, don't bear false witness. Yeah, come on up. Nice job. All right, last question. What 2 earthly elements are in the Lord's Supper? What 2 earthly elements are a part of the Lord's Supper? William, what do you got? Bread and wine. You got it, man. Congratulations. All right, let's move on. So anyway, there's the buzzer. We like to play games every once in a while with the buzzer, and so I wanted to bring you in on that and have some fun with that. And so there you go. All right, let's jump back into here. So why do we do what we do? And as we gather tonight and talk about things tonight, the reason why we do what we do in youth ministry is this. We want to help create a safe Christian environment for our youth. We want to create an opportunity for youth to learn how to serve other people. We want to connect youth and families for faith-growing opportunities and help youth live out their faith. Now, as we talk about all these activities and things that we have planned, I want to stress this more importantly than about anything else, in that the youth here in this room, the sons and daughters in this room, are going to learn more about faith in God from you as parents, more so than they ever will from me or from pastor. You, my friends, as parents, are the primary faith teachers for your sons and daughters. So hear that from me. We want to schedule activities for your kids to come and to grow and to learn, to lift each other up, to connect with other adults as well. But what you do as a parent trumps all of that stuff that we can do. How you pass on the faith, how you live out your faith each and every day with your son and daughter is more important than what we can do here. That's just research that has been tried and true from multiple different denominations in terms of faith that has proven that. And so I want to stress that to you. Don't outsource faith to us. Please don't. Please be involved. Please come hang out. Please be a part of this in your daily walk. If you ever need help, ever need a resource, have a question on how to do that better, and we're not talking about it or not feeding you, let me know, because I want to make sure we do that. We want to walk with you in this journey. We don't want to take this over from you. Does everybody hear that pretty clearly from me tonight? Okay. I know this from my own life, and maybe you do too. I had some awesome youth leaders. We went on retreats. We did lock-ins. We went to youth gatherings. We went on singing group tours. It was a blast. But yet to this day, as a 45-year-old, I still spend more time talking with my parents about faith, and I haven't seen my youth leaders in a couple decades. And so you as parents need to be the ones who have this relationship about faith and God and who God is for you and why it's important for you, so that you can pass that on to your kids. All right? Okay, so that's important for me to tell you all that, and as we do, just keep that in front of you. All right, so as we continue on tonight, I want to go through some of our middle school activities. First, just to kind of connect you with those things, and the biggest thing with that is going to be talking about confirmation. As Bianca said, confirmation is starting in our sixth graders, our sixth grade classes. And so as we have confirmation for sixth graders, the sixth graders and parents will gather here in the sanctuary with Pastor Scott and myself for an 8-week period. During that 8 weeks time, we're going to go through the Old and New Testament in its entirety. You're going to know everything in the Old and New Testament after, yeah, okay, good. I just want to make sure you're with me. We're going to do the quickest, overview of the Old Testament and New Testament in an 8-week period that we can do together as sixth graders and parents. And hopefully you'll remember some of those things along the way. Hopefully it'll show you how the Bible all fits together. Hopefully it'll show you that as we walk through the Old Testament, everything is pointing to Jesus. And as we go through the New Testament and Jesus' life and the beginning of the church, we'll see that everything points to Jesus. And so as we do that, I just want to make sure that we are connected on that and know that. And so sixth grade will start out right away. You can look at the calendars towards the back if you'd like to. Don't have to, but they're there. And we're going to meet in here 8 Wednesdays covering the Bible, Old and New Testament, with at least one parent. Seventh grade will start, the very last day of the sixth grade is our very first day of seventh grade. We overlapped because we need to get the seventh grade in. We want to get that in before we get too close to Christmas. So there's one overlap day that doesn't affect you unless you have a sixth and a seventh grader. Mostly just affects Pastor Scott and myself. We're going to be meeting with the seventh graders in room 201, 202. And there'll be 6 Wednesdays. We're going through the 10 Commandments. And then 8th grade will start up in January. The very first class that we gather in January will be for the parents and the 8th graders. And that's an opportunity for us to kind of walk through the whole year to talk a little bit about all the things happening with 8th grade, from the rite of confirmation, backing up to Witness Weekend, backing up to sharing our faith with our families and answering some questions in a class in here, in our last class together, going back to the retreat, going back to all the different things that we're going to plan for in 2022. And so we meet on Wednesdays. Confirmation is Wednesday night from 6:30 to 7:30. All 3 classes, 6:30 to 7:30. Whenever we meet for confirmation, that's our time. Now, a few times during the year, we have services on Wednesdays known as Advent during December, and Lent as we come close to Easter, in preparation for Easter. And so those Wednesdays, it's customary for the class to either go together as a class or to meet up with your parents after class, because class goes till 7:30. Church is 7:30 to 8 o'clock on Wednesday, so we just go to class right after confirmation class. So be a part of that. Plan to stay for that half an hour as a class or as families that night. That's confirmation. It's $30 for the registration of confirmation, whether you're 6th, 7th, or 8th grade class. If you're just joining us for the first time this year as an 8th grader or a 7th grader, just put that down in the registration form. You can find that registration form on the app itself. And so in that youth section, there's a registration for confirmation. You can select 6th, 7th, or 8th grade. If you haven't done 6th, 7th grade and you're in 8th grade and you're new, put that down. We'll either figure out a way for you to make up those classes or to either join those classes. Even some freshmen have gone through those classes. Last year we had a freshman that was a part of our 8th grade class all the way through. And so the numbers are kind of arbitrary in a sense like that, but we kind of track it that way. Everybody has to go through it that way. We have teen nights, middle school, going on to other activities for middle schoolers. Teen nights typically the first Friday of every month. Sometimes that's a little bit different if there's a conflict or it's a holiday. I know in December it's the second Friday because the first Friday is our drive-through nativity. So we're not going to have our teen night for middle schoolers on the first Friday of December. It would conflict with that. So we're going to go the second Friday in December. We're planning, I should back up. We're planning confirmation retreat last weekend of February or January. It's still a tentative date because we're trying to work out details with the camp. So once we have that information, we'll get that to you. Sunday school will begin on the 12th of September. Sunday school is all together. I teach that. It's for middle schoolers and high schoolers. And we have a blast on Sunday morning, 9:45 to 10:45, talking about life, faith, and God. And so we will have Sunday school starting in person again this year, which I'm very excited about. Middle schoolers especially, kids' Christmas program. I know before the summer started, we were already planning Christmas stuff. Irene and Sydney were looking at what we were doing and had a great plan already for Christmas. So I haven't met with them since COVID numbers have changed. But at this point, we're planning on that, and hopefully you can be a part of Kids Choir Christmas program for December. Stations of the Cross is something that happens every year at Peace Mound Park on Good Friday. And that is especially for our 8th grade confirmands, but all middle schoolers are invited to come be a part of that. In fact, we even start pulling from the high schoolers to come and be a part of that even in high school, so we can always use as much help as possible in that. If you have younger brothers and sisters, how many of you have been pulled in as a younger brother and sister? Some of you definitely have. I know my girls were. So Stations of the Cross, pretty awesome event. And then assisting in worship. I want you to think about how you can be a part of worship, not just coming to worship. And so there are many ways that you can do this. One is by helping out with our audio-visual. If you want to be trained to learn how to run the cameras, how to work with Kyle on the computer and advancing slides, how to help with the live stream so that people at home or the recordings can go back and watch and see what's happened. That's a great way to be involved with that. Crucifer already talked about carrying the cross. Ushering and helping your family be ushers, greeters, singing, and even bells. Christine, I can't pass you up. You want to say a few things about that? Oh, yeah, please. So if you don't know Christine, she is our bell director. I'm giving you the mic, even though you can probably speak to the whole group, just so that we get you on the recording too. You can, yes. So share with us a little bit more about what it might mean for you to be a part of bells specifically or anything else music-wise.
Okay, so I started ringing bells. I had never rung bells until I came to St. Paul, which was in 1998, a rather long time ago, 96, I'm sorry. And I learned how to play. It was wonderful. Then I started learning how we had a wonderful group of youth, middle and high, including my own kids, one of whom I threw out. But the others enjoyed it, and it's a wonderful experience. If you've never done it, it's something you want to keep coming back and doing. You don't have to read music, but if you do, I'm going to put you in a different place. And I see somebody there who would say, do you like ringing bells? Kyle has played bells. So anybody who would like to come, we have, I need different things. We have places, first of all, for the youth who would like to come and learn. I would be thrilled to teach you guys to do this. As you get older, I don't know if you know Ben Kalinsky. He actually used bells to get a bell scholarship for the college where he went for school. So there's many different things that you could use it for, especially if you want to do music of different kinds. You can do it. That's another instrument that you can write down. And then when you're in middle and high school, there's something in your brain that helps you learn music very, very quickly. I got to the stage where I was teaching my then high schoolers. They could play at a level beyond where I could, but I could show them how to do it. Then they did it. It's a phenomenal thing. I do hope you guys would come and join us. We need different things. We need youth to come in and to learn how to play. Also, I'm talking to the adults. We're about to lose a couple of people who are moving away, and so I'd like to replace them. Bells is a team sport. Unless you have everybody, if you're missing one or two people, beyond that, it's very hard to play because you only have one person playing two notes. So if you have that one person or two people out, then you really have a problem. So what I'd love to do is build some depth into it so that we could have a sub list. So if people want to play on an occasional basis, they know how to play, but they can come in on short notice and just sub for us, either for practice or for the ringing. So that's it. Any questions? Good question. We practice on Thursday nights, 6:30 to 7:30, and we're done at 7:30 because Yuri comes in with the adult voice choir. So we are definitely done at 7:30. Oh, that reminds me, if anybody needs a ride, because I know you guys come, there's bell ringers coming from many different places. Just let us know if that's a challenge, and we'll figure a way out. So.
Awesome, cool. 6:30 to 7:30 on Thursday evenings. Very cool. And I know a few who have done that in the past, so that's excellent. You can, yeah. If you'd like more information about that, come see me afterwards. It'll be awesome. Thank you so much. All right, Let's go to the high school side of things here for a moment and talk about high school ministry now. And there's some similarities, but some differences. And our biggest thing with high school ministry is that Wednesday night, Spirit Night. From 7:30 to 9 o'clock, almost every Wednesday, except when there's holidays or other things that conflict, like a Thanksgiving worship service. Those Wednesday nights we gather from 7:30 to 9 o'clock. During Lent and Advent, we usually gather after worship. We come to church together and then gather from 8 to 9 o'clock. And so that time is spent an hour and a half doing all sorts of things, from ultimate frisbee and gaga dodgeball and some other fun activities, to faith time, faith conversations, life conversations, prayer time, lifting each other up, being in God's Word. And we kind of mix and balance all of those things together as we talk about that. And so, I would encourage you, as you get into high school, we start to invite the 8th graders after the retreat. So any 8th graders after the retreat, when you get back, the high schoolers will say, hey, you're going through the 8th grade retreat, that's your rite of passage. Come and hang out with us on Wednesday nights for Spirit Night. We'd love to have you. Also, we have fellowship opportunities throughout the year in high school as well. And so those things include Christmas parties and the lockout, and sometimes we go to play laser tag and ice skating, things like that. So we do some of those activities throughout the year as well. And so we have those scheduled again on the calendar. There are opportunities for Sunday school, again, Sunday morning for high schoolers, 9:45 to 10:45. We're all together. Assisting in worship, very similarly to middle schoolers, helping with AV, ushering, bells, choir, music, being a reader, any of those things would be awesome. To love to have you be a part of worship here at St. Paul. In the summer, next summer, 2022, there's the National Youth Gathering and Spoke Folk Tours. There's a Spoke Folk Tour in Michigan and Minnesota that kind of, one's before the youth gathering, one's after the youth gathering, and then the youth gathering is kind of sandwiched right in the middle. And so registration for all that is on the app for our high school families. But just to kind of get you thinking about this, if you're not in high school yet, these things will still be happening when you get to high school. And so as you think about these activities, Spoke Folk is a 12-day opportunity where you descend on a church with anywhere from 20 to 40 people from all over the country. And you put together a program to sing, concert with puppet shows, skits, with all these people that you just meet. Sometimes there's a big group from our church that goes together. There were 13 of us that traveled to South Dakota for the tour this summer. And so out of the 25 people, 13 were from here, which was kind of awesome. But sometimes, in fact, I know some people who have gone on Spoke Folk in the past who said, wait, where are all the St. Paul people going? Oh, they're going there. I'm going to go to the other one. Not because they don't like the St. Paul people, but because they already know the St. Paul people, and they want to get to know all these other people who they haven't toured with before. And so I'm talking about it. Bobby, you're here tonight. Bobby's the extraordinaire, Spoke Folk extraordinaire, in terms of getting to know things and wanting to know things. If you are in high school, then you could be thinking about those tours for next summer. If you're not, then in those summers between your high school years, that would be an opportunity to do that. Then we bike from church to put that concert on. And the week we were in, 12 days we were in South Dakota this summer, we biked 240 miles. Actually, between Sunday and Saturday, we biked 240 miles, which was pretty awesome. Now, if you were here for our Spoke Folk Sunday, you heard a bunch of stuff that we learned and appreciated and were a part of on Spoke Folk. And the interesting thing was when Bobby and Tricia and I were asking all of the participants from St. Paul, why was it that God had you be a part of this trip this summer? Not one of them said to sing or to ride a bike. There's so many things beyond those things that you think Spoke Folk's all about that were a part of our week together, and so it was pretty amazing. The other big thing is the National Youth Gathering. It happens once every 3 years. So if you're in high school this year, this is your chance to go next summer in Houston. There'll be about 20,000 high schoolers from around the country and world present in Houston. We're using Minute Maid Ballpark, where the Astros play baseball, is going to be where we gather each night for speakers and bands and uplifting messages and singing and worshiping together. During the day, we have the opportunity to gather in Houston's Convention Center to learn more about in all things, which is our theme, how God is a part of all things and in all things, from Colossians. And so we're going to explore that. We're going to be a part of that July 7 to 15 of 2022. The next gathering will happen 3 years after that. So again, if you're in high school this year, this is the chance to go to the National Youth Gathering. And I have to say, probably, maybe I'm biased because I've been on every National Youth Gathering since 1992, except the one in Atlanta in 98. But every 3 years I've been a part of the National Youth Gathering. And when I was a high school student sitting in the Superdome in New Orleans, in one of these mass events, listening to speakers talk and bands play and worshiping with 23,500 others at that gathering, is where I kind of went home and realized this is what I'm supposed to be doing. I felt a calling from God. It really changed my life. And I'm not saying, hey, send your kids, they'll be DCEs. But I'm saying, hey, send your kids. This is an opportunity for them to be impacted in a way that they probably won't get a chance to much like it in their lifetime. To sit in the Superdome and to realize that I'm not the only high schooler that cares about worshiping God or praising God, or I'm not the only high schooler that says they love Jesus. To be in the Superdome and realize that there were thousands of other people like me was something that was so eye-opening and so refreshing and so uplifting for my life and my faith life. I honestly believe it's one of the best things we do as a Lutheran church body, to provide an opportunity for high schoolers to come together for the National Youth Gathering. So, Houston, 2022, I really hope that you would encourage your kids to be a part of that. We're putting together our leadership team for that. And I know, how many of you have been to a National Youth Gathering before? All right, there's a few of you that have in this room. And I know I can pick on these three for sure, but Kristen, my wife, Bobby, and Pastor Scott would be able to talk your ear off as much as I could about it if you want to know more information about that too. So which gathering did you go to? Yeah, awesome. Very cool. Yeah, so San Antonio's been a great city, and New Orleans, Orlando. We hit Minnesota for the St. Paul, or Minneapolis, and we're going to Houston for the first time next summer. So, all right. Also, so those are our high school activities. Then there's some combined activities for all youth, and that would include just some of the fun activities that we do as a congregation, like trunk or treat or blessing of the animals, the live nativity coming up, Easter egg hunt, service projects at LifeNet for Families. We have them scheduled on our calendar, and Martha Klusner and Karen White have said, hey, we can help out with those. They're awesome at helping out with those. And so they'll help point these 4 Saturdays that we have scheduled throughout the year. The only problem is LifeNet hasn't scheduled us for those Saturdays yet. Not because they don't want to. When we were working on our calendar a month ago, that was when the numbers are ramping up, and they kind of just put a freeze on their schedule for the year to say we don't know when we're bringing people back in to help with this. So as soon as they open that up, then they have these dates from us, and we'll get these confirmed on our calendar. But I have them blocked off so that we don't lose them this year, because that was part of the thing last year when people started volunteering again. We missed out on getting in on that. So I put them on there so that we got them. Vacation Bible School, June 14 to 17. And then fundraisers for all youth are available as well. And what's really kind of cool, you can actually sign up to run for the Resurrection Run today. The registration's online and live. You can get a sponsor for the Resurrection Run and start making money already in your account for youth gatherings, for Spoke Folk tours. Anytime where we go and do service towards other people, you can use your fundraising money. And so let me speak to the fundraising really briefly, and then we're about done, which is awesome. As we talk about fundraisers, things like the National Youth Gathering are expensive. It's about $1,500, covers food, travel, lodging, and the registration for the gathering. So basically everything except just some fun spending money. But that's a lot of money to say, hey, I'm going to fork out $1,500 for a week. And so there are opportunities to raise the money. You can raise money over a period of years for those events. You can raise money at one event. Every year that I've been doing the car wash and the free car wash fundraiser and the style that we've been doing, whether it was at my church in St. Louis or here, every year that I've been doing that since 1998, I've had at least one person bring in $1,000 just themselves in raising money for car wash. And so you can make the money for the fundraisers. Quickly, what they are, first one is Trivia Night coming up in November. You can actually sign up a table now if the registration's online. But the cool thing is you can get other people to sign up for you. So if I'm encouraged to do this, I want to make some money, I'm going to go and say, hey, would you put a table of 8 players together? You can play either in person or virtually. We'll have both options this year. We can even have it where you have a table of 4 in person and you connect it on your own device at your table with 4 other players somewhere else. We're working on that. We'll make it happen. And so however it is, will you put a table of 8 people together to come and play trivia? They pay $120 to play. 50% of that goes into your account right towards you for future events where we're serving other people. You can also come and work the night of trivia night, and you can make some money that night, hourly wage. So the rest of that money for tables goes into a pot for people who work, get an hourly wage for that. The next fundraiser is the resurrection, or actually it's the car wash. Car wash and resurrection run are in the spring. And so if you want to make money on the car wash, basically we'll have a kickoff in January. After that kickoff, you can start getting pledges. It's a matter of, hey, we're going to try and wash 100 cars in 3 hours. Will you pledge me 10 cents a car? Or will you pledge me 25 cents a car? If that's too crazy, would you pledge me just a flat amount? All right? And you get pledges ahead of time, and then people give that money afterwards. Then we wash cars for free on the day of the car wash. Now, we say free car wash because we literally don't take any money that day. There will be some people from the community who had no idea we were doing a car wash, and they're going to be blown away that we wouldn't accept their money. In fact, sometimes people are literally mad at me or the other people because they won't take a $20 bill or whatever. Like, no, it's already been paid for. And then there's some people coming through to getting their cars washed who paid like $300 because they've sponsored a whole bunch of youth. But either way, we wash cars for free that day, and you can raise money. It's pretty awesome. Again, I know every year that I've done it for the last 20 plus years, had somebody raise over $1,000 at the car wash just themselves. The biggest one was when we had a youth gathering year in St. Louis. We had 100 people going on the youth gathering, so there was a lot of people working towards it, but we made $36,000 the day of the car wash. It was crazy fun. The most we've done here with about 30 people going to the youth gathering was about $10,000, which is still amazing. And then the resurrection run, if you get a runner to sign up for $35, they pay $35, 15 of it goes right into your account. If you get donations for our shirts, say you know somebody who has a company or a logo that they want to sponsor it, $500 or $250 puts their logo on the back of our shirt, 50% of that goes into your account. It's a quick way to make some easy money for a trip. All right, so those are some things. We'll talk more about that as we get closer. But I want to say one more thing about fundraisers. When I say your account or your money or hourly wage, you don't actually have any money. You don't actually get any money. It's not actually yours. It's always St. Paul's money. Because if it became your money, then all of a sudden you've got to pay taxes on it, and you're not. And so in order to do this, what happens is, say you've raised $600 in the year, and you have $600 in your account. You have a $1,000 trip coming up. What we do is we say, no, your trip is now $400. You pay the remainder, okay? You can't say, hey, I want to cash out my fundraising money. Send me a check. It's not your money. It comes off the trip total cost of what you would owe, okay? Just so you know that. You can request, if you have a friend who needs money, you can request to say, I made $1,000 this year. Can I give $500 to somebody else? You can make the request, but again, it's not your money. So we would say, yeah, that we can honor that request. We'll pass it on or not, okay? So just so you know how that works, otherwise it's an IRS problem, right? And we don't want to do things illegally or underhandedly. And so it's not really your money, but it's in your account towards those events. All right. Some other quick business and information, and then we'll do a few door prizes and play one more quick game. The medical release form, I wanted just to remind you about that. If you fill that out in the next week or so, that'd be awesome. It'd be amazing, because then it's on file. If you've already filled it out and it just needs editing, check that out. Let me know if you have any problems with that. I have 2 rules whenever we do anything. Anybody know what one of my rules is? Yeah, throw it out. Have fun. All right, one of the reasons why we do activities is so that we can have fun together. And so if you're at an event or activity and you're not being able to follow this rule, let me know. I'll try and help you out, okay? I want you to have fun. If you're having fun, then I'm having fun, and so that's pretty cool. And we can all have fun if we follow the other rule, which is, anybody know? Respect. We respect ourselves. We respect the place where we are. We respect our Lord, who we represent, whether it's here or somewhere else. We respect our neighbors who are coming. We respect our leaders and adults who are there. If we can follow, respect, and have fun, then we're going to have some good times this year for sure. One of my pet peeves is the Second Commandment. Anybody remember what the Second Commandment's about? The Lord's name in vain. Yeah. You know, I'm not a big fan when people use profanity. Mostly, I just kind of look at you and go, really? That's the best adjective you could come up with? I mean, come on, you're more creative than that. But when it comes to taking God's name in vain, I don't know, this one bugs me a lot more. God has given us the opportunity to call on him, to use his name, to pray, to ask for help, to let him know that you want him there. And when you just flippantly use it, he is there listening.